please don't get me wrong. I still struggle with that. Like I still
Hmm.
get triggered, which is a trigger is when someone says something and it resonates in your body and your subconscious picks it up from an old memory and your brain doesn't know the difference between that moment and that action 7 years ago. And what
Yes.
happens, you respond. That respond is a trigger. And I was living my life triggered, just going through one trigger to another, and that's how it went. And it there the awakening portion is when you wake up. I say you wake up one day, it's just you literally just think, all my life I've been responding this way and I don't want to anymore. I'm tired. And then I did another video where I was saying, I just want to be soft. I just want to put things down and more women
Mm.
coming in. So I think I noted that not only was I experiencing something that can be quite beautiful, old people and patterns in my life were falling away and new people were coming in, and there's
Hmm.
no BS to that. There's no BS to that.
Hmm. Yeah. I was going to tell you that I was sitting here thinking about my anger because I absolutely was constantly angry from my childhood. And I was like, what was the core for me, my anger? And the core was, I'm going to get you before you get me. I am going to get you and I'm going to be on defense and I'm going to watch you. And if you say or do something that sets me off, I'm going to get you first. And it wasn't that I was vicious. It wasn't an overtly vicious kind of thing. It was obviously a protective thing for me. And it was what I was raised with. And I had to constantly be on alert when I was little. So I took that into my adult life. And when I realized that, and I'm still working on that, there's a lot of areas of my life where that has gone away. But like you say, it still resurrects itself in certain places. But the benefit I have now, like you were saying, I love how you described the trigger. That was beautiful because it's so true. And the self-awareness is what causes me to go, oh, okay, there's that anger. And I recognize it because I don't live it every day, right? So I'm very sensitive to it. And I'm able to take a breath and then process and then react.
Yes. Yes. And that is a space that I still need great practice in. I had a situation where we were at a run, for example, a mud run. We're checking in, and there was a woman in front of us, and there were two people behind the table. One started to check us in, and the woman thought she was cut in line, and she became immediately defensive
Oh,
and
yeah.
recognized her defense is mine. And in that moment, I very softly said to her, it's okay. The people thought we were all together and you were with us. We will gently step back. She didn't turn, she didn't respond. But for me to respond without telling her to,
Yeah. What the old response would have been.
yes, what my old response would have been, it was massive. And when I have that, it's almost like this warm feeling comes over me because you know how they say way back from the 60s and 70s, it's all about love. They're not kidding.
They are right. If you spread the love, you may not see it at that moment, but it would be so interesting if you could have had a conversation with that lady and see how that comment affected her.
Yeah.
I mean, because for me, I lived my life in survival mode. So that I had the anger and then I had the strife and I had the constant I was always on self-protective mode. And so because I was always so on alert that it didn't take much to set me off
Right.
because I
No.
was already close to there anyway, right? And then something would happen and I would hit the ceiling, right? And you're seeing what
Yeah,
she
you've
did.
already you're gonna tell them off. You're waiting to respond. You're listening to react. I get that.
Correct.
Yep.
Exactly. And I had a situation yesterday because the place that I'm still working on my patience is when I'm driving. I'm a good driver and I'm okay with someone making a mistake, but it's the ones that aren't real cool. And I was driving home yesterday and I got angry at a driver and I didn't like the way I felt. And I didn't
Yeah.
like what was going on in my head. And I reacted a little bit to them. I wasn't doing anything stupid, but I got home and I felt like crap.
Yeah.
And I thought,
Mhm.
I wish I could just go tell that driver, you know what? I was just being a jerk. I'm sorry. I was just being a jerk. And it was just that flare up moment where someone kind of made me mad and I just went ahead and reacted. And again, it wasn't something stupid or crazy, but it was something I'm not proud of. And I really struggled with that all day yesterday and I felt bad. And I thought, you know what? I can't do that because, the cleanup afterwards is not worth that moment of release or whatever you want to call that. It's just not worth it.
What a great way to phrase it, Lisa. The cleanup afterwards. You're right. You're right. And the more we have these moments, the more we remember the next time the moment comes. Like,
Right.
and funny, in this journey, I'll have a 2 or 3 week period where there could be bombs going off outside, and I'll be like, whatever happens, happens. It's all good. And I'm chill. But then something will shift, and it's kind of like an upheaval, and then I'm on guard. Like as you and I are speaking right now, I'm actually in a very high anxious state because
Interesting.
of yeah, because of different things going on around me. And it's a challenge because I'm looking back here going, oh, but just a few weeks ago, it was just so beautiful and nothing was wrong. And I thought I had arrived. But intentionally, the universe will remind you, you're close, babe.
Yeah.
But you got to work on this piece. Okay. And that's where I am. So um, it can be a real challenge. I don't think it's something that should be resisted. I think when you start embracing it, it really is, at the cost of sounding cliche, utterly beautiful.
Hmm.
Be able to look at somebody or look at a situation and reevaluate and know you're never going to be that other version of yourself. I loathe the old version of me. I
Hmm.
understand that it was a part of me and I can't hide it or stifle it. People saw it.
Yeah, I
It
know. I do the same thing. I know. And I'm still working on the forgiving myself for my survival mode and what I did in my survival mode. I wasn't proud of it because you'll do things in your survival mode that you wouldn't do outside of your survival mode.